So in my last video, I talked a lot about happiness and how regardless in life, we're going to stress and we're going to feel pain, and why not make it because of something that makes us happy and that we find fulfillment in, that is aligned with our aspirations, our goals, and our dreams. And recently, I have been so stressed and experiencing a lot of pain from that stress and anxiety, because there's just been so much on my plate, and it's been really frustrating. Because if you can imagine, I'm sitting in my room and I'm laying in my bed all day, right? And I have this list of things that I need to do to get done, and all I'm thinking about is the version of me that doesn't exist. And that version is, doing yoga every day and, being super productive and doing all of those things. But this is just something that happens. Sometimes we slip out of the routine. Sometimes we slip into pure and utter procrastination and chaos within our minds and our bodies, and it sucks. It sucks so bad. And, I had just gotten to that point where I snapped, and I was like, okay, I am putting way too much value on a version of me that doesn't exist yet. When in reality, I keep procrastinating. I'm not eating good food. I'm not moving my body. I'm not going outside. But I have all of these things in my head where I'm like, okay, well, I need to do these things, and I have to do these things, and to be able to do these things, and it's this need, I have to, all of that. That stresses even more. That brings even more anxiety. And I just said, okay, I'm done. Let's just evaluate where we're at right now. And I've had to do this a couple of times. I did that the first time that I decided that I wanted to change and that I wanted to heal and grow. And I also made that decision earlier this year because I had gotten so incredibly stressed out from playing so many shows, and it was very mentally taxing, and I wasn't doing necessary things that were required to make sure that I was feeling okay, that my nervous system was regulated and all of that, right? So sometimes we can fall into this, especially coming from a version of me that was terrible at working and just having a really bad work ethic, not feeling good enough, all of that sort of thing. So, the pendulum swings. There's still problems. There's always going to be problems, when you are pursuing your passions and all of that. It doesn't go away. It doesn't become easy. Even when you achieve everything you want, it's still not going to be easy, but you have that security of knowing, that's that happiness security that you are doing what you want to do. So I want to talk about your why, because the other day I kind of snapped, and I was on the phone to my mum, and I was crying, and I was like, Mum, I'm just so stressed out. There's just so much that I have to do. It's just too much. It's too much. And she said to me, she said, don't forget your why. I want you to sit down. I want you to write out your why, your reason for doing the things that you do. And it just immediately clicked, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, there is reasons why I do what I do. And I think that when you get so caught up in the stress and so caught up in the turbulence of life, and I live in the city, it's very fast paced. And I think that I was confusing procrastination that was caused by stress and anxiety for rest, and that I didn't have a routine. I would wake up and my whole day revolved around getting things done, and even if I only got one or two things done off of my to-do list, I would still be at the end of the day in my relaxing time, watching a TV show or whatever, still stressing out and feeling bad that I hadn't done anything. And this is something that I've had to overcome many times, and every single time I get stronger, but it's an obstacle that doesn't just go away. It's something that can get easier, and there's tools to help with that, and this is one of those tools, and that is to not forget your why. So when my mum told me to sit down and write out my why, After I got off the phone with her, I opened my notes app and I wrote down my why. Why am I in a band? Why do I enjoy doing that? Why is that something that I want to do? Why do I do YouTube? Why do I want to do the things that I do? All of the things that, that set my soul on fire, that make me feel proud of myself. And a lot of it makes me feel good. With my band, it was about like when I got on stage, I feel really empowered. I feel powerful. I don't think it's a feeling I can put into words, but it's definitely very empowering, and it's a huge cathartic outlet for me as well, for my anger, for pain, just all of that sort of thing. So there are really solid reasons why I do what I do, because even what I wrote for YouTube it makes me feel good, and it aligns with my inner child that just wanted to help bring world peace. And that may sound corny, but I feel like getting on here and speaking with you all, it helps me feel connected to that part of myself that never got to see the light of day before for various reasons, mostly societal. It's normal to be pessimistic and not like yourself and all that, but so I want you to see your why as your anchor. So whenever you find yourself in times of extreme stress, or times when you feel like giving up, when you feel like you're not capable of pushing any further, don't forget your why, and it can be real simple. It can be really simple. It doesn't have to be an extremely amazing thing. It can just be as simple as it makes me happy. It makes me feel good, and that's important. And it's important to prioritize that. It's important to prioritize your happiness, even with things that, stress you out, that make you happy. It's all one and the same. It all leads to the same thing, and that is living a fulfilling life and, being an anchor for yourself. And your why is your anchor. So every single time that you feel like giving up, every single time that you fail, every single time that things just seem like they are not working and it's just not worth it, and I'm not good enough, I'm not meant to be here, I'm an imposter, your why is your anchor back into alignment with your happiness, with your soul, really, because those kinds of things, those beliefs that you're not good enough and whatever, that's not you. That's not a part of who you are fundamentally as a person and your soul. That is negative self-talk. It's limiting, self-limiting beliefs. And I have a video on self-limiting beliefs as well. So from that conversation with my mum and writing out again, talking to myself and being like, this is my why. This is why I do what I do. This is why I continue to do what I do. This is why I keep going. It is such a deep personal anchor, back into it. And it's helped me get back on track, accepting where I have been recently, just completely idealizing this version of me that either existed in the past or doesn't exist yet, but it's always like, oh, I know that I can, be productive, and I know that I can do yoga every day, and I know I can get things done on my to-do list. Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard? Stress, anxiety, sometimes insecurity, imposter syndrome. It's all very normal. It's all expected, especially, like I said before, transitioning from being somebody that doesn't have a work ethic, doesn't have a great work ethic, into somebody that's doing a lot of work all at once. And another great tip is, having blocks of time where you just sit down and you do the stuff and take breaks in between, but that's your set time to do stuff. Like 4 hours. 9 to 1 is usually a really great time. Having something that defines your work time from your playtime is so much better than just living every day as if the whole day should be productive, as if you don't get like 5 things done, then you've failed. Because sometimes when you're transitioning, you end up using these things to hurt yourself. With self-love and self-acceptance, that's about accepting when you are like that, when you do make those mistakes, and sometimes it can be hard to get to that place, but the goal is to get to that place. But I also know how it feels to use it against yourself and to kind of use it to hurt yourself, because I need to do this, I have to do this. And when you're saying I have to, I need to, instead you say, I have a reason to do this. So remembering your reason why, can help so much when you're just stuck in a rut. And being stuck in a rut is completely normal. There's no shame around it. You haven't failed. Everything's fine. There's time. There is still time. So now I will act as your mother. And after this video, I want you to sit down and I want you to write out your reason why. Why you do the things that you do. Why you want to do the things that you do. And every single time that you feel like an imposter, every single time you don't feel good enough, every single time you are procrastinating and not making any moves and just riddled with anxiety and stress, I want you to remember your reason why. Every day, remember your reason why. Definitely think about this. Think about this and go forth in your life with this in your back pocket, and trust me, it will serve you, because it's been 3 days since I had that conversation with my mum over the phone, and I was sitting in my room crying about how stressed I was. And today I can confidently say that I've caught up on everything. Not quite, but I've caught up to a point where I can enjoy the rest of my night tonight. And, that's a really great feeling. And it's probably going to be a journey like everything else. And that's okay. I need to keep reminding myself that it's okay to, have setbacks and to fail, and take my own advice on that, But sometimes you do get a bit blinded by your own actions, and we can make excuses for ourselves and all that. So I want you to remember that it is all possible. There is time, and your reason why is your anchor. And you are going to kill it, and you're going to do great. And I'm super proud of you. And if you've stayed this long into the video, I'm just so happy to have you here. Thank you so much. I hope that this video helped, and I will see you in the next one.